Hello. 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 Every Rush song.
Hello, my fellow Rush fan. Welcome to the greatest podcast ever recorded in Tim's backyard. How long will it take that line to get old?
It's not old for me.
By the way, these aren't our uniforms. We do in case these end up on YouTube as videos. We do batch record. We record and
hey! So. We don't cuss on this pod. You can't say that.
Sorry, my fault. I feel like such a batch sometimes.
I know. Oh, you did it again.
Oh man. Well, thank you for joining us as we together, you and my two friends and me, as we go through this journey discussing every Rush song. What was the last thing? Nope, that's it. And today, depending on when you're listening to this, it's obviously night at Tim's house because he's outside and dodging mosquitoes.
Yeah.
We're going to cover a little ditty
about Jack dying.
No.
How did that happen?
No.
That's my fault. I apologize
Every
for that.
John Cougar, whatever his last name is now, song. Freewill.
I'll choose that one.
So you want to talk?
Freewill was one of the first, probably the second Rush song I ever heard. That fateful party so long ago when a friend played The Spirit of Radio and Freewill, and I just decided this is what I want to spend the rest of my life listening to.
Which party was this? I don't know. You probably discussed it.
Don't remember anything before 2013 other than that and that one time when I went in the women's restroom at Texas Stadium. Those are the only things I remember before.
It's kind of funny because you don't remember anything before 2013. I don't remember anything before, during, and after 2013. So it's.
How do we know that there really even was a 2000?
Oh, I'm not convinced there was. I'm not convinced. What I am convinced I love the song Freewill, and there's lots of lyrics in it that I'm reading right now, Pen.
I'm thinking because you don't know it.
Well, yeah, this is not like we're doing a Billy Joel, which, by the way, tune in for a Billy Joel podcast. Every Billy Joel song.
Every EBJS.
All every.
Yes.
I did the wheeze laugh. So, Jay.
Sorry.
Putting you on the spot here, Jay, as I twirl my pen, waiting to point it at you.
Yeah.
You voted for Freewill. This was your nomination for one of the first three songs to cover, Jay. How does Freewill make you feel as a person?
Makes me feel like a natural person who likes the song. Basically, what I get out of this song is, God gave us free will. We can choose to believe in him. We can choose to believe what we want to believe in science and poetry, or we can choose not to decide. If we choose not to decide, we still have made a choice, which is my favorite lyric from that album, the song, by the way. And so that's all I got to say about that.
Thanks, Forrest.
Yes. Wow.
It's funny. I saw in a group someone was talking about hemispheres and how great hemispheres was and how it represented Neil's growing out of his fascination with Ayn Rand. And I'm like, have you ever heard every other album they recorded after that? Because it's one of the things I like about their songs is his emphasis on the importance and the sovereignty of the individual. And that's one of the things I like about Freewill. I don't think it's just an anthem for atheists. I think it's an anthem for individuality.
I'm noticing that in a lot of Neil's lyric. The focus on the individual and the not conforming to other people's beliefs just because we want to fit in and all that kind of stuff.
I was looking for I was trying to find Rush quotes about, or Rush lyrics, which is, Neil lyrics about travel for, because I was going to use that as promotions for my other podcasts.
What's your other podcast?
I have two podcasts. One called Beer Thursday that I believe both of you are pretty familiar with.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's
We've
right,
been on
because
it.
you're on it, and
Also I'm a co-host, but
you're a co-host, and Tim's been on it several times.
He's a frequent flyer.
He is a frequent flyer. And speaking of flying, my other podcast, All Things Travel, where we discuss
all Rush songs.
It is. It's as cleverly named as every Rush song, because we discuss all things travel. I am the king of obvious names. That's why my No, never mind. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to give myself another nickname.
Yeah. You got to stop giving yourself nicknames, man.
So
I found a lot of lyrics.
Blah.
I found a lot of quotes from Neil where he was, and where he even said as much, that he was a libertarian, but a libertarian who thinks more about helping others. And so I think that comes out a lot in all of his lyrics.
Yeah.
Consistently throughout his career. Sorry. Back to you, Tim.
Well, what I was going to say was, he did something, and I know he did not do it on purpose because he wasn't a believer. But in his lyric, you can choose to decide in some celestial voice. If you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice, telling you've got your free will. You've got the right to choose. It shuts up the people who say, well, I'm not going to choose that. Well, you just made a choice by saying that. So shut your mouth. But what Neil did was, when you're talking about the one true God, he proved his existence in the lyric that a true God gives his creation the freedom to choose. Your Hollywood movie gods are the ones that make you bow down to worship, make you do this, make you do that to earn your way to try to be in the presence of that God.
I am a kind God.
See?
Xerxes is my favorite.
I mean, to your point, what good is creating life if you're only creating to do what I do and say what I say and believe what I believe?
Exactly. Because then
didn't expect that out of you two.
the one true God could have created us, blah 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 blah, and had us. Look, if he created everything, he would be able to put all of us on little strings and be walking us around like puppets.
Yeah.
Not giving us the freedom to think for ourselves, the freedom to choose. And guess what? We would have never have known that's what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
So Neil didn't know what he was doing, but he did it. So thank you. But look, it's a powerful song, and not only is it powerful lyrically, but for crying out loud, that guitar solo. I mean, that's just Eddie Van Halen.
No, it's Alex Lifeson.
I know who it is.
Yeah. Sorry, Tim. This is every Rush song.
Yeah. But if you want to, tune in for our other podcast. But every Eddie song, Van Halen.
When you listen to the greatness that was Eddie Van Halen, and yes, he is that guitar apart on his guitar solo. But did you really get the same kind of ripping apart plus pure tightness and groove between Alex Van Halen and Michael Anthony, the rhythm section? No, it was all set up for Eddie to be, it's the lead guitar, put it out there. So here you go, lead guitar solo, and you've got the bassist and the drummer just ripping it as well. Geddy throwing out some solo licks. Now Neil, not so much solo, but my goodness, that drum part. It makes me, when I get done trying to play it, and I do not play it, and I don't think I've ever played it rhythm for rhythm perfect, but it makes me want to go get a hacksaw and saw off both of my arms.
Wow.
That's positive and uplifting.
Yeah.
Well, it just feels like it would feel better.
Oh, that's true.
You know,
I could see it being a little
if you get rid
requiring
of
some
the
energy.
It may be a little bit in-Tim-idating.
right.
Oh.
Golly.
You know what? We're not afraid to throw out a pun or two here on every Rush song.
That's right.
We will do some dad jokes.
We will.
And some
Number
bad
one,
jokes.
each of us, a cell of awareness, imperfect and complete.
I'm just going to gaze up at the ceiling while you, because those are so just so brilliant.
It blew my mind away so bad, man.
I mean, there's so many lyrical nuggets in it. Oh, but yeah. You were talking about the solo. I want to get the solo. So here's Shayne talking about mythology again. A lot of creation myths are about creating order from chaos, right? And so you have this song that kind of about religion. And so what resonates with me in that solo part is it kind of, if you listen to it closely, which I'm sure you have, it'll seem like there's kind of 8 minutes of just all three of them, 8 minutes, I'm sorry, 8 counts where the three of them are just they're still together somehow, but just all over the place doing something completely different. Right. And then they'll have a few counts where they're more together. And then they'll have a few counts of just chaos, and then back to 8 counts of order. And then when at the end of the solo section, it's just like this big, massive, just total chaos into that kind of into that run that goes into the and it's just
when they bring it back down from the guitar solo or the total jam, all creation then is shouting out its applause on just the basic you know, just,
I mean, the ground could open up and just swallow the earth.
Right.
You know,
would be impossible, but
I alluded earlier to the missing factor in the whole the Taylor Hawkins tribute about how, you know, just wasn't the same without Neil, which is true. But what it is about Rush that makes them so great is how, like we're sort of talking about now, how tight they are. They can go different places for 7 measures or not beats or whatever. Like you said, Shayne, I wasn't listening. But
it may not have even been 4/4 time.
But yeah, and it may. I'm thoroughly convinced that they invented new time signatures. But you know, that's just me. But they are so tight. That's what's missing. Like you hear them. I mean, Geddy and Alex are still they're one brain, but that, you know, they're missing a third of their brain because they were just so tight. They were just one. The three musicians made one instrument, and that instrument was Rush.
Man,
boy, what
that is like a tagline, or
I kind of feel like I
need to use that. I need to mark that and use that somewhere. I feel
like all three of us are sort of like hovering up in the clouds right now.
All right, so I don't want to totally fanboy this, so I will say that sometimes in a song, you know, it's better to have kind of opposing parts. And one of the things about Freewill is that the bass and the guitar and the lyric are all the same, without any counter melody to it. And it's in most songs it works better in this song, but it might have been interesting if say Alex was doing something else while the bass and the vocal or yeah, and it's not the entire song. Like I like that part on the chorus, but just to kind of bring it back down from the complete worship that we were doing. Okay, now we can go back to worshiping.
Well, actually, I'm gonna kind of offshoot from that non-worshiping part, because there's a lyric, and I'm doing this off the top of my head, Tim. I'm not even reading it.
Close your eyes.
The lyric is,
Wait,
there are those who think that they were dealt a losing hand. The cards were stacked against them. They weren't born in Lotus Land. I need to know this. What in the hell is Lotus Land? Is it just, it rhymes, so I'm going to use it? Is that, I don't, that one I don't understand.
They're thinking that.
You don't know either, do you?
No, well, okay, so go back to this, I guess, the second verse.
Okay.
Planet of Playthings, dance on the strings, powers cannot perceive. The stars aren't aligned, or the gods are malign. Like the stars don't line up, or the gods are pissed at us for something, and they're punishing us. Blame is better to give than receive, and that's the one thing the one issue I have with a lot of organized religion is that it seems like they'll blame things on God, right? Or, like something will happen and they'll say, well, it's just meant to be, or it's God's plan. And that's kind of what he's talking about there. And it's not that, well, no, actually this person drank like a fish for 30 years, or, they ate beef and sugar all the time. That's probably what led to them getting sick. Not that, not God didn't have a design for them. It's just that and it's possible, that there can be those. This might be a little more of the Ayn Rand coming out, because it's possible that someone could have some bad luck, some ill health, and even though they did everything right, they could still have issues or troubles. But he says those that think they're dealt a losing hand, the cards are stacked against them. So there's those that always are like it's fate, or it was predetermined that their lives are going to suck for some reason.
Well,
they weren't born in Lotus Land, so like Lotus, right. So
Lotus Land is sort of like
a paradise, or
a place. Probably you might think of hippies, just this carefree. Everybody's just going about their business, and nothing bad is going to happen there in Lotus Land.
It sounds like Christmas Land.
Well, it would be more like, it would be heaven on earth.
Okay, so
so this kind of like we weren't lucky enough to be there. Our lives suck because we were dealt.
Right. Yeah.
So can you get a season pass to Lotus Land, or does
it's extremely
only if you live in the state? Only if you live in Florida.
Right. Oh, it's
right.
in Florida.
Yeah,
okay.
Right now. Yeah, they haven't opened up annual passes yet.
Well, see, I understand the part about the people that are pessimistic about life and believing that no matter what happens, the world's against me, and up there goes, just my luck, bad things always happen to me. I just didn't understand what Lotus Land was.
Oh, yeah, I think it's right, because they weren't lucky enough to be born in heaven, so it's like in a palace, in the good neighborhoods, or in the good countries.
Okay.
And I admit something?
Yeah, and what's that?
That when I was young, so Permanent Waves would have been the very first. I didn't hear the whole album, but my next door neighbor had it. So I remember hearing Spirit of Radio and Freewill. So when it came out, but for years after that, I always thought he said Locust Land.
Oh.
That would be terrible. Like locusts everywhere.
Right. I know. So,
man.
It seems like the people that were dealt a losing hand would have been born in Locust Land.
Right. Exactly.
Now, Jade, would you like for me to see if I can get you season passes to Locust Land?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks for asking, though. I appreciate
it. Yeah, I don't know how much we would want to dissect these lyrics. I mean, we could spend a whole episode just on the lyrics.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think we'd mentioned in Witch Hunt
but
episode.
we're talking about Neil Peart. We're going to do that on every single track.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh,
yeah.
maybe. What
The
about
dude
motion
was-
This
detector?
out of the way.
The
didn't
dude
write
was
that.
hyper intelligent. He
Right.
was so, and in the way he writes, and like in his, we were talking about his book, Ghostwriter, one of few books he wrote, and he sets a picture. He's just such a great writer. So now he's writing in a it's what's the word for it? I'm not good with words. It's
Pen?
metaphorical sort of writing,
Poetry?
poetic, yes.
Metaphorical?
He's putting words together, and they're
Symbolism?
and there's punctuations and question marks.
You know what? There's not
English
enough.
teacher.
Are there enough exclamation marks? I don't think there's
I don't think there's enough exclamation
I think we need
marks.
more of those.
I think we need more of them. Absolutely.
So what was your
Well-
favorite line, Jay, from the song?
Well, I just always go back to that. I will choose. No, that's that one. You can choose not to decide. You still have made a choice. Or if you choose not to decide, you still made a choice. Basically, I choose a path that's clear. I will choose free will. I don't know. I like the song. I would love to try to break down each lyric, each line, but I don't have the intelligence. I'm not smart enough.
Put up air quotes
Yes. I like to do air quotes when people can't see.
for all of our Audible viewers.
Yes.
You know what? This podcast will be, or it is on Audible too. I'll make sure of that
Excellent.
for all my Audible friends out there.
Plug.
What?
You heard me. I said that was a Shayne-ness plug.
A
A
shameless
shameless plug.
Ooh. I like that.
That was a little bit
Appreciate that, Tim.
intimidating.
All right, that's enough.
Well, and then so he does have a bunch of lines about this is what people think, this is what people think, this is why you're all wrong and misled and misguided. And then he has one of my favorite lines, favorite enough that I mentioned it in Witch Hunt, which is the last verse, which each of us a cell of awareness, just that insignificant. We're just cells. We're aware, but just cells, imperfect and incomplete. And then genetic blends with uncertain ends. That's just,
And a fortune hunt that's far too fleet.
does that sum us up any better than that? I mean, we all think we're so important, that life is so important, and we brag about we argue about, which lives matter, which lives don't matter, and all that. And to me, it's kind of like an Incredibles thing. If everyone's special, nobody is. It's like, well, yeah, all lives matter because none of them do. We're just genetic blends with uncertain ends. We're just what's the meat lockers or meat coats? What is that? I can't remember what that's from, but we're just
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
in the big picture, in the grand scheme of the universe, we're not even the size of a speck of sand. I mean, we're insignificant, yet we are extremely significant.
Ooh. Are we kind of? I think there's a little bit of that in natural. Is it natural science? Right? Is that the one I'm thinking of?
I don't know. Perhaps we should just discuss that in another round of. I'm sorry.
Complex.
Dangerous territory you're going into there, Jay.
Sorry.
Dangerous territory.
We should discuss that in our Star Wars podcast. All things Star Wars.
I would like to do a Jedi podcast, just like
I'm doing one right now. Wait.
Like if Jedi was a religion, like apply it towards, because it's very Buddhist, I think, which technically isn't a religion, but they chose not to decide, so they still have made a choice.
Oh,
now I'm
full
rambling.
circle.
And
Full
hang
circle.
on a second. Ancient religions and the hokey. Wait, what was the line?
No match for a blaster.
Ancient religions and hokey weapons.
hokey something or no match for a blaster kid.
Yeah. But as we get older, we all realize that it's true. All of it.
Wait.
The Force, the Jedi.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
All of it.
Yes. Meat puppets.
Meat puppets.
Meat jackets. Meat something. We're all steak.
Meat suits.
Meat suits. That's what it is. It's meat suits.
It's meat suits.
We're meat suits.
My next thing was gonna be meat cute, but that's probably not it.
Meet you anywhere.
No,
it's a restaurant in Grapevine.
Oh,
pretty good barbecue.
Is
Meet
it?
you anywhere?
All right.
Yeah, pretty good barbecue.
Well, hell, that was.
Wow.
This has been fun, Shayne.
Man, does this make you like Rush more, or you're like, oh my god?
No, it actually does. It makes me want to go. Like tonight, I want to go back and listen to. Really listen to the lyrics of Freewill, kind of put on the old earbuds and kind of take a deep dive.
Well, good, because at some point we will go back to Permanent Waves and cover the whole album.
I was not told there would be homework.
Oh, well, have you read The Fountainhead yet? It's due next Thursday.
Have I read it? Have I read it? Can you rent it at a Blockbuster?
You could rent Atlas Shrugged at Blockbuster.
Ooh,
just
okay.
Be kind, rewind.
Amen.
All right. Well, I'm glad that you are enjoying Rush and enjoying their music, Jay. You know why?
Why?
Because we're going to have to discuss
every Rush song.
Thank you very kindly. Good night.
I love it.
Beautiful.
Damn it.